welcome to the channel. We are, it is, must be, I don't know what it is. You know, that'd be a brilliant thing if we've got this clock fixed in this van. I've never had it set right. It's quite, it just shows you how user friendly it isn't, Volkswagen. That you have to get like a really thin screwdriver or something in to freaking change it and set the time. Anyway, so we're on our way into Edinburgh. That was St Onions roundabout, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Doing it for a pint. Wow, it's a bus. Bus. It was always quite exciting actually as a kid in the car, like if we were leaving Stirling or something, going to Fort William, you know, when it was dark and cold and everything. It's bringing back these memories. It's quite exciting to break the, you know, you've got like the norm that you're supposed to stay awake through the day and then go to sleep at night, you know, so it's quite exciting to have a change and do something different if you're away on holiday or something like that. Yeah, I see, was it a truck or something up there? It's going the other way. It's a nighttime economy, you see that at this time. So, sometimes, do you ever wonder what's the point? Aye. Well, I'm thinking that all the time. What's the point of everything? Anything? That was their gritter, was it? I think it maybe was, you know. Aye, same old shite all the time, you know. So what's the point? So we've got a truck behind us. It'll be around to overtake us any minute now. It's right up our ass. What is it that keeps people together and stops them from functioning? Tanker. Well, I think family, so I think that's probably part of my problem, because I'm on my own, pretty much, definitely on my own, yeah. There's nobody to keep me going, really, I just like myself, really, that's all. I speak to my daughter, that's about all. Even that's been about 10 years for a while. It's probably been I'm the broken family. That where the two parents are not, well, they don't facilitate each other at all, if that's the right correct word. I try to, but I've pretty much given up on it. Crazy behaviour. Gonna no do that. So here we are at the M876, the M9. So I think I've hit a bit of a low, because part of the reason is I've been arguing with people for the last 5 days about the video in Earth with the cyclists, leisure cyclists, and the guy goes in the middle of the road. And so I'm not going to say I've been arguing with cyclists. I've been arguing with, I think they're kind of like, I think it's more than just that. It's is trying to battle it out with people who, so really you've got to keep it down to keep it simple, you know. So what was it about? It's about somebody cycling in the middle of the road. That's what it's about. And somehow that they believe or they believe that the highway code is telling them. So this is people supporting them that believe that the highway code says that you could cycle in the middle of the road, which is something you couldn't really do prior to being able to do it. So it's like, it kind of goes along the lines of, well, the highway code says, you know, you can jump off the side of a cliff, so we should do it. You know, so I don't know exactly what it does say. I think it says in some situations you could cycle two abreast or something for protection, some nonsense like that. So I think that's been misinterpreted. So there's lots of things that the highway code says, so they're ignoring some of the things that they say. And in that scenario, they were holding up traffic. And then there's various viewpoints on it from various different people. So it's like, oh, you know, why are you moaning? What, you know, it's only a few seconds in your day, so you've got this argument every time. So the one that I will tell you right now is, if you're a care worker and because I did care work during the lockdown for 9 months, I did it, and I was doing like say 34 visits a day. So it was 34 people a day or 36. It was roughly like 28 was low, 36 was high. That's people a day. So that was in Clackmannan. That was between Alloa, Tillicootery, Tullibody, Menstrie, Alva, Sauchie. So that was in my own car. I was using my own car, and but what happens? You do a visit, and it'll say, "This is what this industry." Well, this industry's like this. So the visit would be 9 o'clock. You go and see Mrs. What's her name? Get her showered, dressed, breakfast, right? And then at 9:30, you would see Mr. Whatever, right? And he might be in Clackmannan. So you're in Menstrie, the next one's in Clackmannan. So you get in your car and you go for Menstrie to Clackmannan, and then you've got Mrs. So-and-so over at Tullibody or over at whatever, and you go to that one at 10 o'clock, then 10:30, and then 11, then it'd be medication and stuff, you know, you'd have to give them medication and breakfast, get them out of bed, showered, and then go to the next one. You didn't get any time to go from one visit to the next visit. You know, if that visit was 30 minutes, the next one was 15 minutes. You didn't get 30 minutes to get from Menstrie to Clackmannan. So, what's the point? Well, if you watch that video, there's a black Volkswagen Golf. Just imagine that they were a care worker and they were in Earth, and they're going from Earth to Bannockburn or Earth to Clean, and they've got a cyclist cycling in the middle of the road. So the cyclist has held them up all the way through Earth. So the Volkswagen Golfs had to do 15 miles per hour instead of 30, so it's a 30 zone. So the Scottish Government's put 20 signs up everywhere under their TTRO, a temporary traffic restriction order. So you're in your Volkswagen Golf, you're doing 15 mile an hour. So you get to the open road. What was the open road? It used to be 60 there, so they've lowered that to 40. There was deaths there, motorbikes, and so I'm not actually saying that's wrong that they've lowered that to 40. They've lowered that to 40 coming out of Earth. So the Volkswagen Golfs, we'll overtake this push bikes now. And then they're cycling in the middle of the road. So the Volkswagen Golfs doing care work. So then you get numpties coming on saying to me, oh well, why don't you be patient? It's only 15 seconds or something. So you add that So from one end of the earth to the other end of the earth, that's 50%. So if it's 30 miles per hour, it's now 15 miles per hour. That's 50% longer to get you from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. For no reason at all other than these cyclists are out fanning around on the push bikes. So you add that up, if you're a care worker, each day. So what is the result? Well, the result is you're not going to be able to see Mrs. So-and-so or Mr. what's his name in the day. Because you can't do 34 visits, you only do 28. Because 6 of them have spent stuck behind a cyclist. So if you think about it in terms like that, that's how they are being selfish, holding people up. So I've been arguing about this for 5 days, and it's all about these people and their need for power over me and the driver of the Volkswagen Golf. And it wasn't for protection. You know, it's like, how could you cycle in the middle of the road be for protection? You know, but that's how frustrating it is. So for the whole 5 days, I've been battling out with these dumplings, and you can go and look at it. There's one guy today arguing with me, and I actually deleted his last 2 comments because I think he lost, and he called me a prick and everything. And normally I'd block somebody, and then I thought, well, I'll just delete his comment. And he'd been arguing all day about this, sort of that I'm just unreasonable and everything, and all this sort of thing. Well, they're trolls, really, aren't they? So you can go and look at them if you like, but the whole thing is extremely selfish. If you've got a truck, like I'm driving my van now, if I've got a truck come up behind me, I'll make it easier for them to overtake me. You know, I'll even slow down a bit so they can get in front of me. You know, you're on a push bike, stay to the inside left and let the traffic pass you as safely as possible. And if you're not going to do that, you're a fucking numpty. So the van is MOT'd for a year, was yesterday. So I went and got it back from the mechanic. I'm taking it back down on Monday. It needs looking at. There's a few things wrong with it, mainly mechanically. It's losing water still. It seems to be getting worse, and it needs a service for a start. There's a leak in the injector, and there's a few things not quite right about it. But he's fixed the ignition switch as well, but he's not too keen on the setup with it. There's a relay or somebody's done something to it. I think he's going to do something with that. And so I went and got it back off him yesterday, Friday. So I'm taking it back to him on Monday morning. So it is MOT for a year, and the MOT guy was impressed with the underneath of it, but it is good. And we did spend a lot of money in welding about 5 years ago, so it was a good job that he did of the welding, a really good job. And that's the difference between just getting somebody to patch something up for an MOT and then actually welding it properly. It's a lot of work. It cost, it was over £2,000, but it was well worth it. At the time you think, well, £2,000 too much. But at the end of the day, you're sitting in this vehicle, you know, if you crash into something and it's all rotten underneath, the whole thing's going to crumple, you know, but so it has to be structurally, have some integrity about it. So hopefully we'll just be able to keep using it. It is getting a bit ropey, so to speak, you know, mechanically. The engine's a bit, there's a few things not quite right about it, but it seems to keep going. As long as I can just get pretty much, I wouldn't be too keen on going down to England with it actually somehow, you know, but I have got AE recovery, but I'd rather not use it. Just driving into Edinburgh every weekend, well, every Friday night, every Saturday. If I can cope with that, then I'll be happy. So it's doing quite well, really. Didn't need much for MOT, really. A couple of daft things, really, that could have been done there and then. think we've got Gritters about. Gritters over there on the right, that's their depot. Don't know how cold it is tonight, but it must be potentially freezing, maybe. I'm not sure exactly. So this is by far the easiest time to travel, between 1 and 2 in the morning. It's quite obvious. The reason it's easy to travel is that normal people are asleep. So it's just part of the lifestyle that I have. It's sort of twice a week. It's morphed into this. I don't always do it like this. But basically, it makes going in from where I live to Edinburgh quite easy. This is what it's like. There's nothing on the road, so you don't have that. Like if you're leaving in the morning, you've got other traffic about. It kind of makes it easier, but not like I say, normal people would be asleep. I'm not asleep, I'm driving. But I mean, I slept on the couch from about 9 o'clock to about 12 o'clock. It's not normal what I'm doing. I'm not a normal person. I don't know what's normal. I've had this real gloom the last few hours. I just generally don't see what is the point of anything. It's like it gets to the point that there's no point in anything, and I think it's that. I don't know what the next step is. Obviously, I never go to the next step, but you do read some horrible things what happen that people do. But so what's to have a fulfilling life? I think it's increasingly more difficult to have a fulfilling life now. The problems with relationships and things. If you're a man, you've got a lot of problems with women. If you're a woman, you think you're being lied to by the system. It's telling you you've got so many rights, and then you find that you're just not able to fulfil basic rights, needs, because you're too busy. So it's a lack of responsibility, really. So I think it's because we've rejected religion, and I think this is the result of it now. I've only got another 20 years and I'll be gone anyway, so who cares, There's not much I can do about it, but I try to help my daughter when I can, when she contacts me. But I've always got to go easy on it, don't overdo it. I end up falling out or something, so it's pretty tricky. She's not a daft lassie, she's alright. She's not stupid or nothing, but it's not been easy for her, the way things have been. It'd be great if we could get on better all the time. But you have to watch and not try and get carried away with yourself, because they're only going to do what they want to do. They're not going to listen to what you want or what you think's best. And they've got these sort of like people behind them that are supporting them to do the wrong thing. That's what I suppose what I'm really saying, yeah. I suppose I could talk about how horrible my sister is. Psycho sister. I was thinking about houses and family homes. I was thinking about my parents there, and I was thinking about my dad. I remember coming down here with my dad in the Austin 1800, me and my brother. We were going to Ingliston to Edinburgh Zoo. Not Ingliston, forget what it is. It's on past Gustorfin, isn't it? To Edinburgh Zoo. Coming down this motorway, thinking, oh, that's amazing in the motorway. You're thinking, oh, you can cover quite a lot of distance on a motorway. That's what motorways are for. And I was thinking about that, and I was starting to think about childhood memories and stuff, and thinking about how mad my mother was. I think really is probably what I'm thinking. But people say, oh, you can't speak about your mother like that. All right, okay, well, you can't then. Well, all right, well, if you don't want to speak about your mother, that's fine. I'll speak about mine. What I say is the truth. And what I say is the truth is the way it was and the way things were. From my perspective. But there was a lot of things that weren't right. I think my dad was a sort of sensible person. in the room. They had to put up with a lot of shite. Anyway, they landed up living away up north, my parents. So they're from Stirling, but we were born, well, I was born, Fort William, Corpach, Fort William. So I was born there, and my brother and sister were born in Thurso, and there was like a gap of about 4 years between me and my brother, and then with my brother and sister, they were closer, like maybe 2.5 years, 1960, 1962, it was 1966 for me, and so my sister's horrible really, and when the house, it's difficult, I shouldn't really talk about these things. I was sort of pushed out, you know, and that's metaphorically, still, that's what happened, yeah. So what the family is, or what this family would be, or even if it even exists, I was pushed out from it. But most of these things are sort of conceptual, you know. So they moved away up north in the end, and it was just, I was thinking about family homes, how children will come back to the family home. I was wondering if hedgehogs do that, or animals will go back to where they came from or something, you know. That's sort of, you know, what I'm getting at with that. So of course our family home was not really, sort of changed over the years from one place to another place to another place. And I don't know if that would be a more stable thing if you actually had a family home that was in the same place. And it, see, really what I'm really talking about here is aspirational middle class, the middle classes, which is what, where I'm coming from. So that's why they moved around, I suppose, for better, just get a better job or something. That's why we had to move. Whereas obviously, would it be better if we were just ordinary people and my dad was like driving a lorry or something? He always said he wanted to drive a lorry. We lived in a council house, and he just have a normal car. He didn't have a big flashy car. You know, he didn't have the money that they had. Would it be better if you were loved, a more loving home? You didn't have all this shite to put up with. You know, it's like, but my dad did a lot for us, so he did, you know, so much effort in what he was doing. So I'm being ungrateful, you know, it's like, for what he did. And a lot of the wealth came from my grandfather as well, my mother's father, who's all been dissipated around the cousins, you know. Well, that's how, that's what happened to it, yeah. So I'm just talking about middle class families. I'm not talking about wealthy families, I'm talking about middle class families. Well, they are wealthy, yeah. Well, the rising middle classes, really. And how the middle classes are being eradicated now. Well, they're attempting to. But the breakdown of the family and all that sort of thing's kind of meant that I'm not living a typical middle class lifestyle, far from it, you know, but it maybe be better to have security, even if you were sort of not that well off, it'd be better. But then you don't have the same, you can be abused more if you're, you know, if you're lower down the hierarchy, you can definitely be abused more, yeah. The government can come along and do things to you that you don't have any power over. Like, say for example, you don't own your house, and you're in a housing association, they'll come along and do things to the house that you don't have so much say about as you would do if you owned it, you know. There's a lot of things like that can happen, so you've definitely got less freedom if you don't own your own house. Whereas middle class people would own their own house. That's by the definition of being middle class. So there's a lot of things happened in my childhood. I think everybody's got that problem. I don't think anybody's childhood is perfect, but so they land up living away up there, and to me it was all a lot of shit. Actually, I look back at it now and think that it was all bullshit. And I know my mother was behind it. So Hyacinth Bouquet really was kind of, my mother was a bit like that, keeping up appearances. Yeah, that was the sort of, that would explain it roughly what she was like. And my dad sort of went along with it, a bit like the guy in that keeping up appearances. Dad was a bit like that, yeah. He even looked a bit like him. They sort of go along with things, a wee bit henpecked, and they can't really cope with a so overbearing woman. That was definitely like what my parents were like. Yeah. In fact, my mum even looked a bit like that woman. Yeah, there's a type of woman, I think. There is a type of woman that you get. And my mother was like Hyacinth Bouquet. At the end of the day, to me it was fake. Just be yourself. Well, is that yourself? Well, not really. Why are you trying to be something that you're not? You know, just be yourself. Nobody cares. You know, and that's really what it was like. So it's this, we're heading to Hermiston Gate. This video's going to be called Keeping Up Appearances. If I can remember. I remember stuff when I'm doing videos, I think about things like that, and often I forget. You know, because basically they're all done on the hoof all the time, aren't they? It'd be different if you're sitting in your office or something, you're writing stuff down or typing stuff. But when you're doing it on the hoof, or because I'm doing so many videos, obviously they're not done that well because they're all done so quickly. So I'll call it Keeping Up Appearances, that's what I'm going to call it, yeah. So I'm actually really frustrated with myself about my lack of progress. I haven't been in that room for about 4 or 5 weeks, and I haven't started up the Granada either. There's a guy wanting me to do a painting. I haven't even looked at that, you know. Alright, it's a truck there, was that Royal Mail? I haven't even done anything about it. I'm actually quite frustrated about my progress. But then I'm just being negative because at the end of the day the van's MOT'd. You know, that's something that needed doing. And even though I'm not doing it, like I'm paying somebody to do it, I have to sort of organise it and, you know, be around and drop it off and do all these different things. So next week I really need to get into the art studio. There is a sort of depressive element to it. I just can't, like when I'm feeling like this, I don't even like my art. I don't even think it's any good, you know. And it's just that I can't see any positivity in anything. But so basically I need to get in there next week and try. I can't really get my life sorted out, it's a mess. Even the art room's a mess, everything's a mess, and I'm sort of behind with everything. I think it's because I'm doing YouTube videos too much. I think that is probably the main cause of what's fucking ruining my life. It's doing these freaking videos, doing them all the time, isn't it? But I don't know, I don't think that's true really, because I sort of do them as I'm doing my life, you know. Like at the moment I'm doing one, but that's because I'm going somewhere. So, what the fuck, change. As soon as I fucking stop, put the handbrake on, it'll change. Fucking hell, how long does fucking traffic lights take? Fuck's sake. So, I think the biggest thing that's getting me down is this: why the fuck did I think I could change my gender? That was like, what a fucking stupid thing to do. I think that's really getting me down at the moment. I think that's... Fuck, it's like a crazy thing to do. Whatever that fucking means. I don't even believe in any of it anymore. I don't believe anything. I don't even know who I am. That's part of the problem. I think I've got some kind of psychiatric issue that I don't actually know who I am. So my identity was fucked about with so much when I was young. I think that's probably blame my mother for that, you know, my background. Who knows, maybe I'm just being ungrateful. Maybe it's my fucking fault. Maybe everything's my fault. Maybe it's me that's caused everything. It's nobody else's fault but mine. So I've got to live it. They're not living it. They're dead. And I'm still here. And my siblings are a bunch of twats. Because they haven't actually, they've been horrible actually, yeah. Every fucking one of them. And there's more than fucking 2 as well. That's another thing. That I got blamed, well, I get blamed for. I was family scapegoat. So I got blamed for it, fucking spilling the beans about that. But it wasn't me that spilled the beans, it was somebody else. It was my uncle. But And it was all, oh, I nothing to see here. So nobody fucking disproved it either. They didn't say, look, that's complete and utter shite. And that's because it's true. But they've left, oh, you shouldn't have said anything about it. Oh, it's my fault, aye. That's you covering up for a narcissist again. And the truth comes out eventually. I hope it comes out to my children anyway. But who knows? I don't fucking know. The truth as in that nothing's ever just one person's fault. You know, it just doesn't work like that. That's not how things are. And see how easy it is coming in here at this time in the morning. You know, it's so much easier. It's fantastic. So we're nearly there, so thanks for coming along, thanks for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe and we'll get you in the next video. When I started, well, I've been coming here for about 20 years. And I started coming here from this end, I'd land up turning right back there to get to where I'm going, Chester Avenue. And then coming in the back, well, I think it's called Longstone. Anyway, here we are. Here we are. So I bloody got the van back and the bloody dash cam wasn't working. I don't know what the fuck's happened there, because MOT people don't like, or mechanics don't like dash cams being on, right? They don't like it. So, what the fuck? So it turns out the cable's all broken, so I think it's just going to be pulling it in and out all the time. And it's somebody's pulled it out and broke it at the MOT centre or something. It's like, fuck's sake, you know, it's really annoying that actually. You put your van in to get MOT, something's been okay for years, now it's broken. So anyway, so I got another cable of my friend yesterday for the dash cam. And so I'm driving without a dash cam yesterday, picking this up. There's something I never had in the past, and I'm like, it's like, I hate this, like not having a dash cam. This will be the moment that somebody crashes into you. You know, when your fucking dash cam's not working. So the government's got this immigration policy. Is it really an immigration policy, or is it a bit of a free-for-all? So all the while we've got more and more people coming into the country, and then they don't have enough prisons for all the prisoners. And then all this stuff, if you mention immigration, you're a racist. It's like, oh, is that got anything to do with, oh, you can't mention immigration? That means you're a racist. It's like, well, so they don't have enough prison places for the criminals, right? So they actually see this car coming up here, right? Well, like, it's got a headlight missing, so it kind of makes it look difficult to judge how far away it is. Yeah. Oh, it's lovely and quiet. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Bye!